what I see. As quote unquote Wall Street private equity, the big boys come into the game. They weren't in single family for a long time.
Yeah.
They are now since post crash. They're bringing the same game plan that they brought to apartments in large multifamily. This is just a perfect example of, hey,
Yep.
let's bring our multifamily playbook to single family, and it's not okay, Dana. It's not okay. Something you have undoubtedly heard of the big boys talk about in the real estate landlording game is resident benefits programs. But should the mom and pop landlords do it? What are they? How would they be beneficial? We're going to have this conversation with the one and only Dana Dunford, CEO of Himlane. How you doing, Dana?
I'm great. Thanks for having me back on today.
The audience loves the practical knowledge and experience you bring to the channel. I look forward to our conversations each and every week. And oh, by the way, you will be in Vegas.
Hmm.
What is it, February 17th and 18th? So if anybody's coming, you can meet the one and only Dana Dunford. So thank you for coming out.
I'm excited about it.
It's less than a month away. I'm starting to get nervous, but I digress. Sorry. Sorry for the right turn. Let's talk about resident benefits program, which is the purpose of this show. What is it? Please define it. And should mom and pop think about it?
Yeah, so a resident benefits program, I actually had never heard of it about 6 years ago. So this is something that continues to come up that I hear about more and more from property managers. And essentially, what it is offering for tenants who are moving into the property to say you can pay us a certain amount per month for additional services.
Mm.
And what is it for them? A way to make more money. What do some mom and pops potentially say about it is there value with this resident benefits package, and why isn't that money going to me? That's a lot
Yeah,
of a lot of what you hear. And for us, it depends on the value of it, because some of them are not as valuable as others, I would say, and I'll give some examples and really kind of pinpoint where I think they're taking advantage of tenants. And then I'd also like to talk about just the laws and what has come out about resident benefits programs and packages. So, actually, I'm going to start with the laws first. There were property managers and softwares that had resident benefits packages that actually required the resident to get it. So if
ooh,
you're a tenant and you were looking to move into a property, they'd be like, great. And now you pay us an additional $50 a month for our benefits program. That's illegal now in some states. And
as
for,
it should be, as
in
it should
my
be,
opinion,
in
obvious
my opinion.
reasons.
Yeah, yes.
And I think all states are going to move that direction.
Oh
Shockingly,
yeah.
California was not the first to move there.
Oh,
I
no
would think
way.
California would be the first. But I do think it's going to be something that, yes, this is optional. Tenants can get it, but it's not required.
Agreed.
So let me talk about what is in a resident benefits package, and then I'll start with the things that I'm not quite sure why these are part of a resident benefits package. And I'd love, Michael, kind of your opinion from being in this industry and kind of seeing what works and how to keep tenants.
Okay.
So the first thing is, one of the things they say is that they provide a resident portal for tenants to pay rent and stuff like that. They also provide 24/7 repair coordination.
Mm.
And to me, when I look at those two in particular, I think, well, shouldn't you already be doing that as a property manager?
Yeah.
That you already provide them with a portal because it makes your life easier, right? Bid to have all the communication in one place. And then also maintenance and repair requests, if there's something that should be fixed and it's the landlord's responsibility, as the property manager or the repair coordination team, you should be essentially offering that. So those are two that I say I'm not quite sure this is really a benefit.
Let's be very clear. It's not a benefit. Let's be very clear. And this is what I see. As quote unquote Wall Street private equity, the big boys come into the game. They weren't in single family for a long time.
Yeah.
They are now since post crash. They're bringing the same game plan that they brought to apartments in large multifamily. This is just a perfect example of, hey,
Yep.
let's bring our multifamily playbook to single family, and it's not okay, Dana. It's not okay. That's
Yeah,
not a service. That's crazy.
I totally agree. Totally agree. So those are the ones where I'm like not quite sure that these are valuable. And actually, it's just quite almost demeaning and offensive to like add those to a package.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's insulting.
so totally. So where I do think there might be like a resident benefits package where you might be able to offer one to your tenants. One example I've seen is credit building. So we've gone out to all the different credit building, and you bundle it with other things as well. But
Mhm.
we've gone out to all of these credit building programs. And what's really interesting is they charge the landlord for to build the credit to help their tenants build their credit. And as a landlord, a lot of times you say, so
No,
we've had
thank you.
folks come to,
Yeah.
yeah, we've had folks come to Hemlane to say, hey, but your competitors have credit building programs for the tenants. Why don't you? And I say, great. Did you see their terms of service and their cost? They charge you $10 a month to build your tenant's credit. Are you going to pay that? And then they're like, oh, I had no idea I had to pay for it. It was in such small fine
Oops.
print.
Sorry.
And so I do think,
Wow.
though, and when you think about what is beneficial for a tenant, if they're looking to buy a house or do something else,
Yeah.
credit building is a great one to say, okay, great. This is the fastest way to build credit because last time I
Yeah.
checked, this is your largest bill every month and it's
And
not
it's
part of your
consistent.
credit.
Exactly. No, I agree. My hope is most mom and pop landlords just make it a pass through. So if it's $10, it's $10 as opposed to adding margin. But I
Yeah.
digress. One would hope.
Yeah. Totally, totally. The other one could be renter's insurance. And the
Yeah.
reason I say that you would bundle residents renter's insurance with it is I think a lot of tenants don't understand like you need renter's insurance if something goes wrong such as there's flooding or anything that gets damaged, the landlord's insurance is going to push back on you and say, "We're only covering the landlord stuff. We are not covering yours."
Correct.
And we've also seen situations where, for example, let's just say the heat goes out and the technician goes on site, but it's emergency dispatch. They need to get some part. They can't come till the morning. You have space heaters. Your renter's insurance, a lot of tenants don't know this, will actually pay for your hotel a
Oh,
lot of the time.
absolutely.
And so those types of things, I think having some sort of education around, hey, you're about to move into this property. Here are different things that different types of programs that would be really helpful. I think these should definitely be part of them.
I
The
agree.
other one I've seen is HVAC filter delivery and installation, which is another one where there's a lot of times that lease contracts put that on the tenants. I remember when I was a first time tenant, I had no idea how to change a filter. I also didn't know what a filter was.
Yeah,
And my
I didn't
landlord
either.
came
I
over and taught me that. So I
yeah.
think that's another really good one. There's also things like non-sufficient fee waivers, one-time late fee waivers, identity protection, but that seems kind of like a weird one to randomly toss in there. Um, so anyway, I think there's ways to offer value with resident benefits
Sure.
programs. Also, in thinking about like the access to codes. So, for example, if you are using a Wi Fi in a smart hub, you pay that monthly fee for it. Telling the tenant, hey, listen, you could just have one fee that I give you, just or code that I give you, just like you would have one key that we give you for yours. But we could bundle this together in a residence package
Mm,
where instead you could have access to manage
sure.
codes, give your friend Susie a code and your friend Frank a code and all of that. So I think there are certain things that you could say,
Yeah.
hey, justify it. But there's been some of these resident benefits programs that are, $75 a month, outrageous. And it's like to get access to repair coordination or things that, in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
that should be included in what you have. So anyway, that's a whole breakdown of what I've seen in the industry. And it will be really interesting because I think this is one of them that will continue to come up in the news to say, hey, what should landlords be doing and what shouldn't they
Mm,
be doing and what do they offer to tenants and what they shouldn't.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful conversation. Again, I think what we're seeing out there more and more is the big boys enter a new space. They're bringing their old
mhm.
rule book or playbook. that I think doesn't really apply. It's kind of heavy-handed, and I'm glad that some of these states are making them illegal. I think it's atrocious that says here's the rent, and oh, by the way, a $50 fee to use my technology. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Amazing conversation. If somebody wanted to go in and play with Hemlane and practice being a landlord, where should we send them?
Yeah, you can go to www.hemlane.com and just mention one rental at a time because you do get 20% off your first year and you can try us for free as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.